I need my nameplate in the window there. In fact, there are two. Hi, I'm Doug Freeling, and I am Instructional Services Librarian here at the campus, the library. I do what I love. They pay me. It's a pretty good gig. Oh man, I was born and raised in Ohio. Father was a Nazarene minister, and my mother was a minister's wife, oddly enough. Funny how that works. I graduated from Mount Vernon Nazarene University, went then to Olivet Nazarene University in Kankakee, Illinois, and I fully intended to be working at a high school teaching Shakespeare to the honor students, and ended up working with intellectually challenged adults and taught them self-care skills, working skills, sex ed. Okay, in my former career, I would go on vacations and visit libraries. Who goes on a vacation and visits libraries? And finally, I'm thick-headed, it occurred, maybe you'd like working at a library. After that, went back to school in library school, Kent State, Ohio, for a library degree. Yeah, so in the beginning of my career, we were helping students find the paper resources. Now, since everyone knows how to use a keyboard, everyone thinks they know how to do research. And that's not necessarily true. In fact, on the bulletin board back here, the information literate person knows how to find, evaluate, and apply needed information. I don't care if you graduate magna cum whoop-de-doo, if you cannot do this, that will impact your lifelong learning, could impact who you vote for, could impact how, whatever. You don't want to get your news from Twitter, Facebook, or whoever, So, check quality resources. One of the fun situations I got involved in was with a couple of students who were directing their student films. And one of them is Destin Daniel Cretton, and he has just been signed on to do a Marvel movie. And of course, I like to think I had a great deal to do to help with him and his career. I was a visually impaired man trying to cross the street, and the adventures he had doing that, and at the same time, someone's trying to hang himself. It makes sense, but you just have to see it. My experiences of faith growing here at Point Loma, I got more and more familiar with the liturgy. And my favorite part during the Holy Eucharist is the mystery of our faith. Christ died, Christ is risen, Christ is coming again. I always smile at that part, our mystery of our faith, because it is, and it is our faith. Well, I'll be spending more time with the grandkids. I don't have grandkids. I forgot to get married. It happens. Really fun goal is to visit other Nazarene campuses and their libraries around the world. They are looking for volunteers. I can do that. Being a single person and no grandkids or kids or spouse can take up and go off to other countries 3 months, 6 months, longer, and volunteer at their libraries. Wow, some advice for the students, sage advice for you. It all works out. Your best plans may go well, may not go as you think they should. It's okay. Jesus had a pretty good handle on this, that love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, your strength, everything, and your neighbor as yourself. Yeah, that works. That's pretty simple.
I'm Jim Scullman, professor of art. I grew up in La Mesa, California, which is actually like a small town, like really right in the middle of San Diego. By the time I was 6 or 7, I assumed that I already was an artist. And my parents never questioned that. I got total and complete support. I did my undergraduate work as an art major at San Diego State, and I went to the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill for my MFA program. I earned my living making custom furniture, and I did that for over 20 years as a way to earn a living while I was being an artist. I used to do an assignment. This was a 3D design class, and every student had to make some sort of a box-like enclosure, and the only way to see the art being inside of the enclosure, was to look through a peephole. And so one of my students thought it would be a really good idea to have a living rat inside the box. He acquired this really large white rat at a pet store. He figured out a way to make it appear as if the rat was being hung. It wasn't really, but it looked like it was. It was very alarming. I think he also had a soundtrack that included screaming, but it turns out that after the critique was over, the student who made this returned the rat to the pet store and had the receipt for that. So we had written proof that the rat survived. But an important part of what we do here in this art department is to think and talk and make artwork that somehow reflects or moves around the idea of the intersection of personal faith and art. And oftentimes as I watch a student develop as an artist and as a person, to witness how they change and how they grow, and I think is to witness God moving in their lives. So, I hope they realize like how actually grateful I am to them for providing me with that experience and making my job like the best job in the world. Don't worry so much about whether you're talented or how talented you are. Instead, spend your time and energy making things. And don't be afraid to fail. It's never a waste of time. You always learn something. And discoveries happen all the time when mistakes occur. You just stumble upon things that are brilliant that you never would have thought of had you not been brave enough to conduct an experiment.